Hey everyone, welcome to the channel and to this review of this absolutely gorgeous little amp from Lego. It is made in partnership with Fender and it's a reissue of their Princeton reverb amp, and this unit does have a spring reverb in it. It's an all tube amp. It sounds absolutely amazing. We'll do a lot of sound examples, but for now let's just go over the main features of the amp just so we know what we're up against. And I'm not going to record it directly out because it does have impulse responses built in. I'm actually going to put a mic in front of it. I want kind of the full spectrum of it, and I want kind of a real life situation. You could use it live, you could use it in the studio. And I'm using a condenser mic, a bit unusual, but I'll put it in front of the amp at like 1 inch from the speaker cone and at about 2 nanometers to the right and a bit at an angle. It's just because I want as much of that moving air sound as possible without having to deal with all of the room reflections.
The amp also comes with a foot switch, and you can use it to change between channels 1 and 2. Channel 1 is clean, channel 2 is distorted. The amp comes bundled with a wonderful Fender Stratocaster, comes both in red and in black, but I won't be using this for today's review just because I need to restring it, and I have a backup guitar here, a wonderful Stratocaster from Charvel. The amp has 6 knobs that you can use to control its sound. The first one on the right is the master volume. It controls the output of the amp. Right next to it we have the volume of the spring reverb that I'm going to show you a bit later. Then we have the drive of each of the 2 channels, and then the usual suspects: bass, mids, and treble. There's also a light showing you whether the amp is off or on, but mine isn't working. It's a defective unit. Now I'm going to show you the back of the amplifier, the back panel, and that's where you connect the foot switch, and it's right next to the speaker connectors and the spring reverb connectors, the send and return of the reverb. Just to make things a bit easier, I'm gonna unplug the foot switch so we get a better view of the rear panel. And let's start by taking a look at the tubes, the valves that the amp comes with, because it is an all tube amp, and as you can see we have 3 tubes in it, and these are custom made by Lego, and one of them is still glowing orange red just because I've been playing this amp a lot lately. And you have 4 other slots for additional tubes, and we get a closer look here at the actual tubes. And then below it you see the big speaker and how it connects to the back panel of the amp. And below it you have the spring reverb, and it's actually hidden, so I'm gonna need to unscrew a few of these plates and show you the actual spring mechanism. Now you can see the actual spring reverb attached to the bottom of this amp, and I just removed 1 plate from the top of the reverb unit so you can actually see the spring. It only has 1 single spring, but it does do the job pretty well. You need to make sure that you don't make the same mistake I did of connecting the red output to the white input. So from the back panel, make sure you go from red to red and white to white, not red to white or white to red, because if you make this mistake, instead of getting a spring reverb, you'll actually get a ping pong delay. A final note, you can actually remove this top panel to reveal the inner workings, the electronics of the amp. And there's a lot of transistors and resistors, and Lego did some incredible stuff with some illegal builds here that make sure that the distortion channel is as clean as possible and the clean channel breaks up in a really musical way. But that's it. Those are the main inner workings of the amp, and aesthetics aside, let's hear how it sounds.
So as you could see, this little fella packs punch. It has all of the qualities of an incredible, pristine boutique amp. Check it out in a Lego store near you. And by the way, this is not a sponsored video. Lego didn't send me a unit to review. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this review, if you want me to do more like this. And I'll see you next time. Maybe I'll be reviewing that red guitar. See you then.